Horizontal education, cultivating ideas.
In thinking about our school's journey towards closing the opportunity gap, it became really evident about 3 years ago when we received our standardized test scores that we were not meeting the needs of our students of color. This pointed to a clear equity issue within our building. We knew we cared, but caring alone wasn't enough to tackle the gap. In response, we made equity our #1 school priority. We made concrete commitments of our time, energy, and resources to doing something about it. And although we continue to learn more about how to promote equity in our school, we are seeing a tangible narrowing of the gap, and we're excited to share with you the strategies we've used to move forward with this work.
The objective of this video is to discuss closing the opportunity gap. We'll learn about DGS's path to equity growth and our rationale behind why we've invested so much time, energy, and resources into this type of work. We'll discuss what we've done so far and how you can implement some of the things that we've already tried at our school at your school. There isn't anyone that's comfortable with the gap that exists in our schools. We know that. So then the question isn't really a matter of why invest in this type of work, but more so of a prioritization of this type of work. Now, we know that schools don't have all the resources available that they need as it is, but we do believe that with the time that we do already have and the resources that are available to us now is still enough to embark on this type of journey. Now, I can't say we have all the answers here at DGS, but I can say that we have made this our #1 priority in our school. And with that, we've seen a dramatic reduction in the opportunity gap. So that's why we're sharing what we do. You can take some things, use what you like, and hopefully make this a part of your school's journey. In this next section, we'll be sharing some video that explore our story through this type of work, which include unpacking our own bias, making personal connections with students and their families, having the structures that are able to provide differentiated support, and a focus on expectations, why they really matter, and making sure that we're enforcing them consistently to all students.
All right, so our first step in our journey was maybe the hardest, and that's because it involved us taking a hard look in the mirror and reflecting on who we were as people and how we fit into the system that we were representing. A consultant named Unsuk Zucker helped us get through like a year-long experience where we stopped and unpacked, our personal biases and kind of the biases of this like larger white institution that we were representing. There's a lot of privilege that comes with that, and a lot of unfair expectations that are put on different students as they come into our building. And so it was hard, but it was really important to sit there and realize that there were times we were being unfair, no matter how much we thought we weren't racist or that we weren't doing any harm to students. We were, in fact, and we needed to figure out a different approach.
We, like many schools, name equity as one of our shared values. Differentiation is one way that our value of equity is lived at Denver Green School. Differentiation is about all students getting access to grade level learning. We work with students to provide them with supports, both academic and behavioral, to ensure that everyone is making expected growth throughout the school year. Some of our systems that support differentiation include weekly data team meetings, weekly behavior meetings, and our monthly response to intervention meetings.
When I think about making authentic relationships to help close the opportunity gap, I kind of think of like a bank and withdrawal and deposit system. When you're holding the students to those high expectations and you're giving them redirections, you're making a withdrawal. I think the question is, have you made enough deposits? Have you called home to build a relationship with family? Are you telling the students great job when they've done some excellent work? Are you using 4-to-1 positive to negative reminders? If you are, then you can hold those students to high expectations. But if you haven't, you're overdrawing.
I can't think of a more important role in equity than the role of student expectation in our schools. Now let's address some things that are inescapable facts. Schools are institutions. Institutions have authority figures and rules, right? That we can't change. But we can ask ourselves are why these expectations in these institutions so important? To dig even deeper, do my students understand why these expectations are important, and does it make sense to him or her? Also, can they be confident that it's being consistently enforced to all students? Now, let's contrast the American experience for a white student and a student of color. If you're a student of color and some of your shared history is slavery, and you turn on the TV and you see somebody who looks like you and they're being choked out by a person of authority, does it make sense for you to automatically defer to authority? Or if some of your shared experience is Jim Crow laws, would it make sense for you to just blindly follow rules because somebody said so? No. So why do schools continue to roll out expectations in the same antiquated way to a student of color as they do a white student? Students of color need to understand why the rule is truly important. They need to feel that it's being implemented fairly, and they need to know that the one enforcing them loves them. So why do we skip the rationale? Why do we continue to gloss over the connection it makes to each individual? Why do we lecture, shame, and burn bridges that we've already made? Listen, students of color do not need a different set of expectations, but they do need to believe in them, right?